If you got one of these documents, you can follow along. But here's what it tells you, and then I'll show you some of the things that are in it. Primary elections are supposed to be different than general elections. In a general election, most Republicans are going to vote for the Republican candidates. That's why we produce Republican slate cards in advance of a general election. We want every Republican voter to know who the Republicans are on the ballot, and therefore who should represent them well. But let's be honest, some of the Republicans we elect in the general elections govern poorly. They disappoint us. They don't represent us well in office. The primary elections are when we are supposed to hold them accountable for their poor performance by choosing someone else to represent us on the next general election ballot in November. Primary elections are supposed to be about Republican challengers trying to unseat Republican incumbents. This should be a great incentive for Republicans in office to actually do what they promised to do when they campaigned. But unseating incumbents is bad for business and politics, so the power brokers in many county parties and in the state party have devised ways to prevent us from holding Republican incumbents accountable. The biggest way the party bosses control the outcome of primary elections is to endorse their choice, almost always the incumbent, and then provide them with enough resources to make sure they win the primary election. If you donate money to the Ohio Republican Party, you can be sure that part of that money is going to work against us Republicans who want to hold elected officials accountable during the primary election. Because Republican primary elections are designed to be an accountability tool in the hands of average Republican voters, county Republican parties and state Republican parties should not be endorsing one of several candidates who are running against each other for the right to represent us in November. They should not be producing slate cards to tell us who to vote for and how to vote in the primary. It's our opportunity to select who we want to represent us in November. The job of parties in the primary is to help us get the information we need about each candidate so we can make up our own minds on who we want to vote for and who we want to see on the November ballot. A perfect example of this is here in Shelby County was our last gubernatorial primary election. Less than 33% of Shelby County Republicans voted for Governor DeWine to return to office for a second term in the last primary. And that's after the Ohio Republican Party had pumped millions of dollars into his pre-primary campaign to convince us that he should return to the ballot in November. We can only vote for the Republicans who make it onto that ballot in November, so they control the outcome of the party elections to ensure that their candidates are on the ballot in November. So that's the general gist of what we feel our responsibility is to you during the primary election season, is we need to help you have the tools you need to make the decisions about who would best represent you in each race that you're going to see on the ballot the following November. If you've got this document and you flip to the second page, one of the first things you'll see is a list of every Republican who's going to be on some ballot within the county of Shelby County. And over on the right, you'll see the ones that are marked out as being in a contested primary race. So obviously that's the ones you're going to want to do some research on. Tonight, we've got 5 of those men here who are running for 2 different county commissioner seats. You'll get to hear from them, you'll get to meet them, you'll get to ask them questions. Further on down the line, we've got Keith Cheney here. He'll get to speak to us toward the end of the evening. He's our current state representative, state central committee member, the man, obviously. And that's a contested race this time. And then you can obviously see the U.S. Senate race is a contested primary race with 3 in it right now. And then there's actually 5 names still on the ballot for the presidential race, but 3 of them have already suspended their campaigns, so it's really down to 2 people right now. The next page, you'll see a list. While we don't like to endorse, we don't think parties should endorse in the primaries, it's perfectly acceptable for somebody like the Right to Life organizations to tell us who they think best represents their values. And then there may be other groups that give you a more whole person concept of ranking and rating elected officials on how well they did in office. This page here is actually, we just took the 3 Senate candidate websites and we just went to their endorsement page, pulled off the first 20 that they had listed on that endorsement page, and that's what you'll see there. And then down at the bottom it tells you how many more endorsements they have, and then it shows you what the website is that you can go to look over that endorsement page and see if like-minded people might be on there. These are the kind of tools that we think you should have at your fingertips to be able to figure out who you want to vote for. The next page, you'll see that we've already had one Senate debate, U.S. Senate debate. That was on January 22nd, and the URL is there so that you can go review that Senate debate. And then we've got one coming up here pretty soon on February 19th and on March 6th. And then there's a bunch of dates there that are very important for this particular election. The next page, if you've never heard of the Blue 22, you need to read that page. Maybe go to that website to learn a little bit more about those folks, and just be aware of who they are. Many of us believe that they have no right to serve in Republican elected office ever again because of what they did. I'll let you do that research, and you can decide whether we're correct in that assessment or not. The next page, the iVoter Guide. I just took right straight off of the iVoter Guide the ranking for the 3 U.S. Senate candidates, from moderate to conservative to very conservative. And the URL for that site is there, and there is a ton of good information out there that you can dig much more deeply into these 3 candidates and see what they've got. The next one is a Buckeye Firearms Association. They ranked all of the Senate candidates, gave them a rating on how well they support that one issue, Second Amendment rights. The next page is from Ohio Value Voters. I believe that is a very accurate reflection. This organization has a very accurate reflection of the values of Shelby County and our surrounding areas, so that might be of value to you. You can check into the work that those folks do. The next page is Right to Life Action Coalition. There's a link there. They have not yet released their endorsements, but they will be very soon. And then Ohio Right to Life is a different organization. They've already endorsed 2 of the Senate candidates, saying that they hold the correct values for their organization. And then there's an Ohio Liberator list that I just came across recently, and you'll see at the top I put a note that this appears to be a group of grassroots conservatives who believe what I just told you about what the primary is supposed to be. So they've gone through and ranked people who they feel would serve us well in office. And probably the most important page is the one on the back. That tells you how to get some significant information that can help you prepare to vote. And I'll lay this on that table right there where you came in. But this has the sample ballots for every precinct in Shelby County. You can follow the instructions by going to this website, and you can download your own personal ballot, a sample copy of it, so that you will know exactly what you're going to be voting on March 19th, or when you go in early or get your ballot in the mail. But I don't know of any better way to be prepared to vote when you go into the voting booth than having looked at the ballot a month in advance and done the research necessary to be able to answer the questions properly. When you do that, if you have questions about some of the issues or the candidates that are on there, and the resources that we're providing aren't answering those questions, by all means, get a hold of us, and we will do everything that we can to help you get the information that you need to make an educated vote on March 19th or whenever you vote prior to that. Does that all make sense? All right. Well, the flow of the evening is going to be that, like I said, that 3 minutes for each candidate. Then we'll circle back around and give each candidate 1 more minute. And then during that time, we'll be collecting the questions. We'll go through a question and answer period where I will ask those questions, and we'll get to hear their answers. So without further ado, let's get started. And I think John Adams is up first. And guys, don't forget, you need to have this pretty close to your mouth and pointed directly at it.
Thank you for coming tonight. I'm John Adams. I currently serve on the Shelby County Republican Central Committee. And some on the committee asked me to run for county commissioner. I considered my experience as your state representative for 8 years in Columbus, small business owner for 35 years, veteran Navy SEAL, and husband and father of 7 children. And I said yes. My community service began with 2 terms on the board of directors of the Shelby County United Way. During those years, I was elected as president and also served as campaign chairman for the United Way campaign. Additionally, I served as president of the American Heart Association of Shelby County and was vice president of the Shelby County Rotary Club. While serving on the state NFIB committee, then state director at the time, Roger Geiger, asked me to run for state representative. I served under 2 governors, Strickland and Kasich, and I was elected to House leadership as the majority whip and floor leader. As a conservative voice of our caucus, I was endorsed by groups such as the Ohio Farm Bureau, NRA, Ohio Right to Life, NFIB, and the Ohio Chamber of Commerce. A few of my accomplishments were laws that require the teaching of the Founding Fathers' documents through all primary schools in Ohio, and the closure of Dr. Haskell's 3rd trimester abortion clinic in Dayton. Objectives as your county commissioner. First and foremost, I will be a good steward of your tax dollars. As a fiscal conservative, I'm aware that government will always be with us. And there is a balance regarding the money we take from you, the taxpayers, and the services we provide to you through the county. Each biannual budget in Columbus affects 14 townships, 8 villages, and 1 city in Shelby County. During my political service, I have met with the Ohio Farm Bureau, County Commissioners Association of Ohio, Township Association, Soil and Water, and OSU Extension Office. I have the experience and ability to work with people and the agendas, agencies that govern the services we provide to our citizens to achieve the best possible outcomes. I will do the same as your county commissioner. I look forward to serving the citizens of Shelby County if elected. Thank you very much.
Hello everyone, thank you for coming. My name is Phil Barhorst. A little bit about myself. First of all, I'm running for a commissioner seat, soon to be vacated by Tony Bornhorst's retirement. A little bit about myself. I grew up right here in Sydney on a dairy farm at the intersection of Coothar and Campbell Road. Many of you elders may remember that. I attended Holy Angel School till the 8th grade, and at that time we sold the farm in Sydney and moved to Anna, where I graduated from. I was very fortunate enough to attend NBC then, which is UNOH now, on a basketball scholarship. After 1 semester, I decided that wasn't for me. In the spring of '76, I went to work for Dunson Auto Supply, which is no longer here. Some of you may remember that. In the fall of '77, I started a 17-year career with the Dannon Yogurt Company. I started on the production floor, worked my way up to a corporate position in their R&D department, and eventually became a quality assurance manager in Glendale, California for about 3.5 years. After returning from California, Dannon asked me to make another move. I said, I can't, my kids were being raised. I got into the family business, which was Ruin Camp Farm Drainage, now known as Camp Boring and Trenching. I've been a co-owner of that business for the last 30 years. So I'm looking to break myself away to take the commissioner's seat. I'm hoping everyone here sees it the same way. And being, why do I want to run for county commissioner? It's kind of a lot like John just said. Someone asked me to think about this. And after several conversations with my family, my wife, who I've been married to for 42 years with 2 daughters, we decided that this might be a good venture for us. I too am a conservative. I don't stand up here and try to be a politician. What I want to look at this position as is doing what is in the best interest of the 49,000 people of this county. I'm not a yes person, I'm not a no person. I want to research things and get down the road the proper way. That takes all of us, that doesn't take one commissioner. The other reason was I grew up in an era where every article in the paper was the commissioner's this, the commissioner's that. They were always on, it was always, they have this to deal with, they have that to deal with. Over the past several years, many of these 3 commissioners, I think, have done an outstanding job. We're losing 2/3 of them, okay? And I think I'll do my best for you to fill one of those positions. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for coming tonight. My name is Mac Knupp. I am also one of the candidates for Shelby County Commissioner. Me and my wife, Caitlin, are blessed to be the 4th generation to live on our family farm in Green Township. I graduated from Fairlawn High School in 2014, and after graduating high school, I decided to continue my education. I got an Associate's of Business with an Ag Business concentration from the University of Northwestern Ohio. After graduating from college, all I wanted to do was farm, but that wasn't really in the cards at the time, and Grandpa said I better get to work. So for a little bit while in college, I worked at UPS for 2 years, and then I was lucky to get hired at the Shelby County Highway Department. I was one of about, I think, 40 at the time that interviewed. So I worked at the Shelby County Highway Department for 7 years before having to resign that job to run for county commissioner. But during that time in there, I helped around the farm. I was elected, I guess I'll be serving my 3rd term now as Green Township Fiscal Officer. I've really enjoyed, I've learned a lot serving as fiscal officer, and learned about a lot of local government funding and, you know, the A to Z for government. So, but also during that time, in 2020, which we all know what that was, I was elected to the Shelby County Soil and Water Conservation District Board of Directors. You know, that was kind of a hard time to get started on my first board because a lot of Zoom meetings and there wasn't a whole lot of face-to-face communication. But you know, I learned a lot during that time, and I've been fortunate to go to the different federation meetings and everything and do a little bit of meeting there. I currently farm around 500 acres in Green Township, and I guess I've been doing that for 3 years now, being a sole owner-operator. So I guess what I look forward most about running for county commissioner is all the stuff I can learn along the way, but I do look forward to maybe putting a newer, younger perspective on things. We have a lot to protect here in Shelby County, so I appreciate you all coming tonight. Thank you.
Well, my name is Jim Guttermiller, and my 53 years ago, I had an aneurysm. It fixed me, that I lost my speech, and 1/2 of my body was paralyzed. but that's all right. I'm always smiling. So, God has a mission to fix the problem. Now, I went to school, graduated, and the next month I went to Ohio State. Didn't like it because it's the money problem. And that's fine. Don't worry about that. I went to really, it's 44 years playing Santa Claus. So if you, well, you know that, Tony. I was there. But I like little kids too, so don't worry about that. But 44 years playing Santa Claus, 25 years playing or selling seed corn. It's hard to say anything for the farmer, but you know about farmer. Okay, thank you.
You still have 15 seconds. You still have 15 seconds.
Well, what will I do? You know?
You don't have to use it if you don't want to.
That's fine.
You can just
Okay.
pass it on.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Bruce Betts. I am running for the January 3rd term seat from Bob Giozzi holds now. I currently live in Jackson Center. I'm born and raised in Shelby County. With my wife Kim, we raised 2 kids and 4 grandchildren. Currently, I work for the Village of Jackson Center as the village administrator. Been with the village for 43 years, and I'll have a retirement coming up September 30th. I hold a Class 1 EPA license in water, a Class 2 wastewater from the Ohio EPA in wastewater. And some of the civic duties I've done, I've served 6 years on the board of the Sidney-Shelby County Economic Partnership. I served 4 years on the Sidney-Shelby County Board of Health. Currently, I serve on the Shelby County EMA Advisory Board and Executive Board. I'm on the Shelby County Local Emergency Planning Committee. I am a den leader for Pac 90 Jackson Center Cub Scouts. I am the adjutant for the Sons of the American Legion in Jackson Center. I'm a big brother, big sister volunteer. I've worked over 25 years at the Jackson Center schools doing athletic events, doing scoreboard, or stat board. Dan Francis can vouch for that because he's ref many games there. But what I would like to really do is come to the county commissioner office and I'm big on facilities and infrastructure, and our current commissioners have done a great job keeping that up, and I'd like to continue that work. Some other things on my radar is workforce development, housing, childcare is huge. We can get more people to work. We got the jobs, we need people to work. And one thing that I'm really going to need is I need to learn. There's a lot of different departments in the county commissioner's office than my village administrator office. So I would like to go sit with each one, learn their mission, their goals, and really down to what they really do. So as a commissioner, I can help them reach them goals. So, thank you for coming tonight, and having questions, I'll give you an answer. Thank you.
Thank you, candidates. One thing I didn't mention was that Jenny is in the back there, and she would love to see some of you. There's water back there, but they've also got soft drinks and some harder stuff than that too, if anybody's interested in it. So I just wanted to let you know she's back there. And if you do use her services, please tip her well. Hopefully this is being helpful in getting you to know who our commissioners' candidates are. At this time, we'll give them 1 more minute each to follow up if they would like.
I have nothing to add at this time.
Just a couple things to let you know about my past. I spent 9 years on the Fort Laramie Board of Education, 5 of those 9 years as president. I am currently a member of the Fort Laramie Planning Commission over the past 3 years, and I'm a past president of the Fort Laramie Chamber of Commerce. I am a member of the German Heritage Days Festival Committee. I've been for the past 20 years. And for my stress relief, I've been a basketball coach for Fort Laramie Girls High School for 14 years.
I guess, I had a whole thing typed up and I just decided to leave it at home, so I did think of a couple more things, but after graduation, I decided we had a big field fire at our farm when I was probably 10 years old, and that really kind of sparked my interest. But anyways, I did go to Clark State, and I got my Firefighter 1 certification and my Emergency Medical Responder certification, and been serving the community now for 7 years as a volunteer firefighter. So that's the only other thing I had. Thank you all.
Well, the main thing is, like 25 years of selling seed corn, 6 years working with electric company, with, I got a CDL, Class A. That's it. Thank you.
Well, thanks, Mac, because you reminded me of one. I was also fire chief or fire department member in Jackson Center for 25 years. I'm now retired. 8.5 years of that I was served as chief. As a group, 25 years. But that's a young man's game. And back to the commissioner's thing, it would be a real honor for me to go from serving the 1,400 people of Jackson Center to the 49,000 in Shelby County. So I'm really looking forward to that, and like I said, I'm going to be the one that's going to need to learn a lot. So thank you for your time, and Dan, it's all yours.
All right. Thank you. All right, did we have any questions?
Is there any questions that have been written down?
There's a couple over here.
One question we do have, health commissioners. What is the?
Oh, here. If you want to read it, go ahead and read it into the mic. All right, this question is for all of the commissioner candidates. What is your position on the increase in Shelby County city tax, in the Shelby County city tax increase?
How much time do we have?
I'll cut you off at some point.
Okay, I'll be quick. With the information I have currently, I'm voting no. If it's just going to be for roads, first off, you have a levy that's going off, it's for roads. The one coming on is for roads plus. And if it's roads plus, tell me what the plus is. You raised X amount of dollars from the past levy that's going off. What are you raising in the current? I haven't seen those numbers yet. So I'm voting no on that tax increase, the permanent tax increase and let them come back to us again when they have a message with information that I can make a sound vote on. That's my opinion.
We currently, are living in an era right now where everybody wants our money, and it's spread pretty thin. Everybody in this room just got their real estate taxes, right? So it's hard to fathom that somebody, they want more. Do they need it? It has to be studied. Just like John said, is it the right thing? Is it the wrong thing? What are you trying to tag on with it? It all has to be looked at, and somebody has to make a sound decision on it. That's where I'm at right now. Thank you.
Yeah, I will have to agree with the two of them, but, I guess what I'm understanding is it's the 0.5% income tax in the city. But I do need to do a little bit more research on that, on what it is intended uses are for. But like Phil said, everybody's kind of strung a little thin right now, and we all need to watch out for ourselves, so.
Is that tax for farming too? Let me know. Talked to my twin brother. He has two farms. One has like $28 an acre, but no buildings. But there is another time with tax with house, and that's $100 an acre. But that's besides the point too.
I agree with the other ones. It goes back to what I said before, I need to learn. And there's a lot I need to learn about that before the decision's made, and that one's a very, it's a very strong one that you're going to really have to look at hard, both sides of it, and really dissect it. So, another thing I need to learn about.
All right, thank you. Why don't you just stay here? I'm going to mix things up, and we're going to go the opposite direction with this question. Well, first, this question is, I think it's really for me, how many Democrat candidates are on the primary ballot? And I'm assuming you're talking about for these two commissioner seats, and the answer is 0. So whomever wins this primary election will be your next two candidates for, or your next two commissioners for Shelby County. All right, so the next question is, the party platform of 2016 is a very pro-family, pro-marriage, man, woman, clear distinctions type of platform. I have to put my glasses on, the words are getting smaller here. It's very strong on parental rights, and so the question is, are you in agreement with the party platform of 2016, which is the last one that was officially done, the Republican platform, or do you want it changed, and how?
For me, that was pretty easy. I am with that, and I don't see that any changes coming to that.
If it is with Trump, go ahead. It's okay for me. Byron, I can't understand him at all. Like the same thing as Harris too. It's she can't do anything. It's like a circle around and heading back to base one. So, sorry.
I guess I am in agreement. I mean, I guess if we're all sitting up here with an R in front of our name, we should be in agreement with the 2016 platform. So
I pretty much agree with everyone else on that thing. Are there always checks and balances, tweaks, things that can be done? Absolutely. But for a base, I'm okay with it.
If it's 2016, I believe, are you referring to the federal or the state?
Federal. The
Okay,
federal.
yeah, because the state doesn't have.
Well, they didn't actually say, but I assumed it was the federal.
Okay, all right. Yeah, the federal 2016, at that time, I don't know if she'd passed away, but Phyllis Shapley, anytime she's involved in anything, I'm for it, because it's sound. And if it's 2016 and she was involved in it, I would keep it, and they should adopt it as the Ohio platform for the Republican Party.
Stay up there.
The Senate race is a very important race. They don't really want to say, are you endorsing a particular candidate, but they want to know which candidate do you think most closely aligns with your beliefs and your principles and your issues. And remember, you've always got the Fifth Amendment that you can plead as well.
Now, I met with, when I was on the campaign trail for Secretary of State, I met with all of those gentlemen. And I support and have endorsed Bernie Moreno in this race because of all three candidates. Two of them I served with, and they're not what you call conservative Republicans. That would be LaRose and Dolan. Thank you. So I endorse, out of those three, Bernie Moreno, and he's right now, of course, he's endorsed by Trump, so that helps. But he is solid, and what he has said to me, I guess I have to wait and see if it comes true, which is your word. And that's what I've always believed in. When I ran and served, it was your word, and you kept your word. It's as simple as that. Thank you.
I'm leaning towards Bernie Moreno on that, but again, I need to do a little homework and study it a little more before I endorse one versus the other. But I'm leaning towards Bernie Moreno. Thank you.
I'm another one. I'm never done doing research, and sometimes the true picture doesn't always come out until the end. So I'm not going to say that I would endorse anyone just yet, but I would say my ideas align more with Bernie Moreno.
Well, I don't know. I like Trump. Sorry about this, because Trump has less, how can I say this right? He knows the ins and outs compared to the other president. That's it. Thank you.
I pretty much stand with the other guys on this one. Right now, I would say Bernie's my man, but still got some things to figure out on it, but as of now, Bernie would be in the lead in my book.
And you're still in the hot seat. At what point in your life did you become a member of the Republican Party, and why? And what is it that the party stands for that resonates with you?
Well, pretty sure it's been forever, so I don't know when that would have been, when I was 16 or 18, I don't know. But just being conservative, and I feel that we just do the right thing. So I've always been.
I switched over to Republic 5 years ago. I like Trump. Sorry about this, guys. He has more good things for the other people. Now, that's it.
I've been a Republican ever since I was old enough to vote, so I guess following my grandpa around as a little kid, I got instilled with work ethic pretty quick, and I guess, and he grew up in some tougher times, and just the conservative work ethic was instilled in me, so.
All right, when you're 18 years old and you've got to pick, you're going to go vote for your first time and you've got to pick a party, what do most of you do?
Ask mom and dad.
Dad, what do I do with this? Okay? That's what I did. And I picked Republican. Okay? Later on, you get older, you realize what's going on. I believe that a true Republican votes for whoever the best candidate is for the job. I don't believe Democrats do that. I'll end it with that.
My first vote for president was Ronald Reagan, and I've been a Republican ever since. And today it's still the Republican Party. For the life of me, I can't figure out. When we talk about democracy, we have two parties talking about what their definition of democracy is, and I just can't figure out the other side at all. So, look, politics is local, and I'll stay a Republican because it's only a two-party system at this time. Thank you.
Stay there. What is your opinion of Communist China Party owning land in Shelby County?
I wouldn't sell it to them. That's my answer. They should not be buying property in America. Bottom line.
I agree with John on that one. There's no way. No way. So.
I would agree, and there's a lot of controversy getting closer and closer to us. There's some California dollars out there getting closer and closer, and I don't think they need to be in Shelby County either.
I agree with you 100%. That's it.
Ditto. You're all.
Okay. We've got another.
The youth of our county are important, and with local and state funding available, how would you be willing and or interested in being a part of the Shelby County Fair and the Shelby County Agricultural Society?
Well, that's pretty awesome because that's something that is on, like I said, was on my radar, was that workforce development. I went to the Career Center, then it was the Joint Vocational School. Them jobs are important. The agriculture jobs are very important. So we got to get out there and we got to get these kids to know that job's okay. It's okay to be a farmer. It's okay to be a home farmer. It's okay to be a dump truck driver. You don't have to go to 4 years of school, but if that's what you need, then you go. But these other jobs are important, and we need, as a community, to get behind these kids and give them every opportunity to help them along to get them in a good trade or a good job. So that's on us to boost them and show them some of our work ethic we've done.